Hello everyone, I'm Mish from the Dolphin Star Temple. Today we are coming together to speak to a beautiful woman over in the Netherlands, Inge van Straalen. Is that right, Inge? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, that's beautiful. Who is also a Pleiadian Lightworker, and we're coming together today to have a chat to her about how she got into Pleiadian Lightwork and what it is that makes Pleiadian Lightwork so special. So welcome, Inge, to the program. How are you today?
Hi, Mish. I am really good. I'm so excited to be talking to you about Pleiadian Lightwork.
Oh, that's so great. We're excited as well. So, Inge, how did you actually get into Pleiadian Lightwork? Or how long ago?
Oh gosh, I've been doing Pleiadian Lightwork for 15 years now, I think, or maybe even 16. Yeah, and how I got to it is quite a story. Yeah, when I was a little girl, really from a very young age, I would feel energies and see things, and I remember when I was in my bedroom, every so often I would see these little creatures walk through my bedroom, and I could feel them, and the energy was kind of scary for me, and I just knew it was going to be one of those nights that I wouldn't be able to sleep, and I would just dive underneath the covers and try to hide, and I would just spend the night like that. And all these things, I would hear my name being called. Well, there was no one at home, or no one was calling me, things like that. And I got so scared. Yeah, so fear basically just ruled my life. And, not feeling the fear actually, or trying to run away from it. Yeah, I could not sleep without the lights on. And and that was okay. I kind of learned how to deal with it until I went to university. Went into the dorms and spent time with other people in my house. Lived in a student house, and it was a little awkward, not to be able to sleep without the lights on. So then a friend of mine said, well, started talking about spirituality, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. That's because all I was thinking about, these, well, what I now call entities, or presences, and that I had to run away from. And then she said to me, Inge, it can also be really good. There is such a beautiful world of light out there. And I remember that moment, like, what? Can it be nice?
Yeah,
And
especially fear.
yeah, coming from fear and, realizing that there is a world out there that is not fear-based.
Yeah.
And that there is a world that you would actually want to connect to these beings. So, and then my search started. I started doing Reiki, and getting in touch with like this intuitive feelings, or this intuitive basis inside of me. But still, I could not get rid of like these feelings of not being alone, or the fear-based beings. And so then I got introduced to Pleiadian Lightwork, and there they just taught me within like the first 2 days. I got all these tools, like, okay, if you do this, this, and this, you're master of your own energy again.
Wow.
So that was really the moment that I noticed, like, oh, this has made such a difference in my life. I love this. And it just gave me back freedom. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So
Yes.
did you come across, like when you came across the work, did you come across the Amorah's book, The Awakening Your Divine card,
No,
or
actually, that was not my
people?
entry point. It was human evolution from a Pleiadian perspective.
Is that Barbara
That's the
Messiniak?
book where she talks about like the whole journey
Yeah,
for,
yeah,
when humans or souls started incarnating on Venus and all the traumas that happened there, and then to Mars and so forth. And
yeah.
I read that and I recognized so much, and I thought, oh my gosh, this woman knows, she understands. And so I had to meet her. Of course, she happened to come to the Netherlands for a workshop, and I thought, I have to be there. So I went to the workshop and I said to her, I want to come and study with you in Manchester, and I want to do PLI, so the Pleiadian Lightwork Intensive, opening my car channels. And
Yeah.
she said to me, yeah, you're very welcome, but you have to do FSPs first, full sensory perception. So really to gain mastery of your energy. And there was this teacher in the Netherlands. And I started taking FSPs. And I never ever got to go to Manchester in the end,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yeah.
but everything was at your fingertips, right, in your own country. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I realized everything happens at its own pace, and I didn't need to go all the way to Manchester. As you said, it was right here in my own country. So, and that is just as valuable and just as powerful.
And so you learned, so you went and did the courses. And had you done any healing prior to that, like with a Pleiadian worker, or you just came across the information and you went, right, this is it?
Exactly. I'd never experienced like a Pleiadian Lightwork session or anything. I just knew in my heart. I just
Yeah,
felt the calling. Yeah, this is for me. As I said in the beginning, it was that search for my truth and for like getting rid of the fear to be who I really am, the mastery of my own energy. And I feel like Pleiadian Lightwork is all about that mastery, gaining mastery of your own energy. And I felt that from the very beginning, from the book, from like the teachings, from my classes. I felt that. So that's why I was pulled towards it.
yeah. And so what kind of changes actually happened for you, like as a person going through this life? How did you change through doing these courses and, learning Pleiadian light work and then working with people with it? What are the things that changed in you?
I became me. Actually, I didn't change, but the layers, the protective layers that I put around me are, well, not completely gone. I'm still peeling. It's a work in progress.
Yeah,
But, it's like I'm getting there. I've put off so many layers, and it's so amazing to realize that, the more you evolve, the more you grow, the more you gain mastery, the more you become the you that you've always been. But you've tried to hide, or you try to adjust to society, to your family, to your friends, or whatever it was, to adjust because the world was such a scary place. And,
yeah. And so much expectation upon us. There's just so many things, isn't there, that really
exactly.
drive us to be a different person to try and feel like you fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
That's really wonderful.
and I see that in so many of my students and clients, like people, yeah, put off all these layers and become who they really are.
Yeah.
Become,
Authentic.
yeah, their soul essence, or the soul
Yeah.
essence can shine through.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful, isn't it? And so
Yes.
now you're working with people like clients. Do you do one-on-one sessions and are you teaching?
I do one-on-one sessions and I teach. I teach Pleiadian Lightwork. I teach workshops. So yeah, that's and as I always say, Pleiadian Lightwork is my passion. I love seeing the effect it has on people, and people who are becoming themselves. And there's
Yeah.
nothing more beautiful than seeing that. And you can actually see it in their eyes.
Yeah, you can see the light change.
Yeah. And my teacher used to say that, oh, I can see it in your eyes. And I was always like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Your eyes have changed. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember too the same thing. Like I remember, and then seeing it in my students and just being so amazed with that light. It really is incredible, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like they're shining from the inside. That is just incredible.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes I see people who are not really present. You see the body and it moves, and of course there's this soul, but it kind of floats around their body, or it's in touch, but it's not really there. And throughout all the levels of FSPs, you can kind of see them getting more into their body. And I just,
Yeah.
it's like, yes, I see you. You're finally looking through your eyes.
Yeah. And you really notice the difference in your students when they actually go through that transformation, their own, awareness
Yeah.
and connection with themselves. Do
Yeah.
you find that as well?
Yes, yes. You can see it in their eyes, but it's like they're starting to glow, or this
Yeah.
radiance is starting. You know, yeah, they start to radiate light. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are light beings, aren't we?
We are.
And then getting back to that true form is so beautiful.
I
And
know.
so Inga, do you have like a favorite part? There's so many parts of Pleiadian Lightwork, and full sensory perception and different areas, car channels that I heard you talking about before. Like, is there a specific area that you really love?
I love the soul work. So it's part of the FSPs.
Yeah.
Uh, but really going into, well, not going into the soul centers, but really looking at the soul essence of someone, and to really be able to clear whatever is holding them back, to let their full essence shine through. That is the part of uh Pleiadian light work that I love. And I guess my answer would be full sensory perception classes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when they do get into that soul essence, like the change that person goes through, are they able to become more on their purpose in life, would you say?
Yeah. And I see that a lot in sessions. People often have this feeling like what their soul purpose is, their soul mission is. But for some reason, they cannot walk their path, or something is blocking them from fully living their purpose. And with the techniques, yeah, you can really walk your path, the path
Yeah.
that you're meant to walk.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful thing, because for people who might not know what their path is, would you suggest that, doing FSP would be something that would help them find that journey as well?
It's a
How
starting
does it
point.
change them? Yeah.
It's a starting point, but it's not that you start FSP and get the answer straight away.
Yeah. Yeah.
but you will
Yeah, because
learn.
it's a lot of work
Yeah,
to
and I
to
get
move
that.
through.
Yeah, so I get that a lot from people like, oh, it's so much work.
Well, yeah, well, it's not, yeah, and I actually just even thought that when I said it's not so much that it's work, I mean, because it's amazing, incredible journey with yourself, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
to that self-mastery.
yeah,
But yeah, it, like you were talking about the layers, you know, of yourself, you know, growing and peeling back the layers to become really authentic with who you are.
mm,
And so when somebody comes for a session, you know, and has FSP or does the courses with you, it's like taking away the layers like you were talking about.
yeah. I guess why people think it's a lot of work is because you learn new techniques. So just to set the scene, FSP, full sensory perception, is like the reading part of Pleiadian light work, where you actually learn all these different techniques and yeah, apply them to yourself and to your fellow students. So but it's learning the techniques, and there are a lot of techniques, and you know, and I always tell my students it's like learning a different language. So yeah, you have to put in some work, you have to apply it, and you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it can be overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, what do I do now, and what do I see, what do I feel, okay, and what are they telling me, and what do I do with it, and that can be overwhelming, and it can feel like a lot of work, but
Yeah.
it's play as well, you know. It's like this belief that it's work, you can play
Yeah.
with it.
And it's really enhancing the senses, isn't it? Full sensory perception, just what
Yeah,
it says. But
exactly.
in the overall scheme of things, like how long is your the course for FSP?
Level 1 is 10 days.
Yeah, so that's actually really manageable. When I think about a lot of work, I don't think that, you know, like maybe a year of work, but then I go, FSP is really, you know, it's very manageable, like for that many days.
It is. So it's like 4 weekends, and you know, yeah, and sometimes a Friday, you know, a 3-day weekend, so to speak, a long
Yeah,
weekend.
that's fantastic, which would really help people who are working, and it's very
Exactly.
doable. It's affordable to do it that way. It really helps people be able
Yep.
to access that mystery school and that information.
Exactly. Yeah, because it is a mystery school, and thank you for bringing that up. It is a mystery school, and it's not just a trick you learn. I think that's a difference between just, you know, learning how to read and Pleiadian Lightwork, because it is part of this bigger mystery school tradition and teachings, and it's about personal growth. It, you know, really developing all the other senses are part of your own path, your growth path. I really see it as part of a bigger thing. It's not just a technique or a trick that you learn.
Yeah. And so once somebody does do FSP with you, where can they go with that afterwards? With them, they can do healings on themselves.
Oh yeah, of course they can do sessions on other people, or you know, you can always, that's what I love about it, because for me it is about mastery of your own energy. So, you know, when you feel something is off in your energy field, you can tune in yourself and get your own answers. So it's like you're not dependent on others for their answers and their views anymore, but you can find your own answers within.
Wow, that's like, how beautiful is that, to be actually able to make your own decisions around things and be able to take more control of your own life,
Yeah,
your more control of your own emotions, or what you actually want,
yeah,
you know, in your life. Yeah, that's really, really fantastic.
I know.
and um and so with with your life and with learning the Pleiadians, and you talked about entities before, which I'm always fascinated when people talk about different things, and through your childhood really experiencing those negative energies. So when you did the work with full sensory perception and PLI, like the Pleiadian Lightwork intensives, how did that help you with those negative energies?
It taught me that I have a choice. It taught me how to make that choice and how to put up boundaries. And so to insist that others really respect my boundaries.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So,
and so now
they're not
the
gone.
fear?
I mean, you know, these entities, they're still there, and, you know, it's okay. You know, it's not all black and white. So,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like people, you know, they're on all sides or of the spectrum. You know, you got, you know, there are lots of grays and gray areas. You know, I don't want to say grays because that could be...
Yeah, we could go into a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, no, but you know, I compare it to temperature. You know, you got cold and hot, and you know, it's just temperature. And it's like the label that we put on it. Is it cold or hot? And sometimes on a really hot summer's day, you want something cold. But when it's really cold, you want something warm. That works better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway, so they're still there, these like entities or things that I was afraid of. But, you know, I can choose where they go, or I can say, no, I don't want you here, you go. Or I ask, you know, my guides, Archangel Michael or whoever, you know, is present at the time, or I want to call upon, you know, to bring them to a space where they belong and where, you know, that matches their frequency.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've really got a handle on that. So it works for you a lot more in the way that you need it to work for you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's really wonderful information for people to hear. Yeah. Thank you. And so what would you say, you know, there's a lot of different mystery schools around. There's a lot of different things that we have on the planet for learning and reading and training. How would you sort of say that Pleiadian Lightwork is different to other schools or different to other modalities? What makes it special?
For me, what I love about it, how it's really connecting the spirit and the body. It's really bringing it here on earth. To me, it's always been like a very practical thing. So it's not about, you know, leaving your body to find the spirit world and just to talk to spirits. Yeah, it's wonderful to talk to spirits, you know, I can finally say now. You know, to connect to all these light beings. But the next step is really to bring it into your own system to, and that's what happens in the Pleiadian Lightwork intensives, more like opening your ka channels, really bringing your soul energy into your body, start living it. So you can just really, well, I talk a lot about embodiment of all the wisdom and all, your own higher self energy, to embody it in your body and to live it and bring heaven on earth.
Yeah.
So that's for me, that's
amazing.
That's the part that I love.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That makes a really big difference.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so for you, like in your everyday life, you're working in Pleiadian Lightwork. What kind of other things do you do to have fun? Like what else do you do in your life?
I love having fun. I love food. I'm a foodie. So I love trying different flavors and cooking, eating. So yeah, I do a lot of eating. And
Yeah, I love food too. I'm with you there.
yeah.
A passion for sure. And so, and do you like do you do meditation daily for yourself, or like how does that work for you as well?
We're talking about embodiment. So for me, it's like living the teachings.
Yeah.
So rather than, I do meditate. I have to admit, I don't meditate every day because,
Yeah. Neither do
I
I.
live it. It's really about the ethics and the wisdom that the spirits or my guides are giving me. Yeah, and try and put them into practice. I give myself challenges, so like, or a theme. So
Yeah.
I did the 10 days without complaining challenge.
Oh, I love it. That is fantastic. Oh my goodness, that's a great one. That's such a great idea.
Yeah, well, I noticed people around me. I was at a party, and I noticed people speaking and complaining a lot. And it was like kind of this bonding thing.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And I noticed the effect it had on my energy. It was kind of dragging me down. And then I thought, what if I just went through life without complaining for 10 days? I'm just going to challenge myself. So
How'd it go?
yeah, let go. And
Did it work?
spoiler alert, I didn't make it.
that would be very challenging, but like such a great thing to do. And like when your stuff comes up, you could probably clear it because
Yeah,
you've got the tool.
exactly. And then, but it's more about awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness of like, yeah, what am I doing? And what effect it has on like your energy or the people around you. And, so it's okay to fall. It's about getting up.
It's present on me there.
Yeah. Oh, are we here?
Oh, you back there. Yeah, it just froze for some reason, but I've got you back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, awareness is, I just heard the last bit of your awareness there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awareness is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And so, Inge, if you could offer anything to the people right now who are listening onto this beautiful conversation, what could you offer them that, because I know you were just talking about awareness, but what could you offer them to take into their everyday life with them?
Actually, do whatever you feel called to do. If you like the awareness thing, do that. But one thing that I also try to do every day is to see people. And I think if everyone just practices that, it will make such a difference in the world. And what I mean is really look at people, see people who they really are, without just, projecting your own story upon them immediately. Just, hear them, really listen to them, really see them. And what I do also on the streets, I try and look people in the eye and see them and, smile at them. And, it has to be a genuine smile. So it has to come from the heart. So if you're not feeling it at the moment, at that particular moment, don't do it. But if you do, just give people a smile, look them in the eye and smile so people know that someone sees them.
Oh,
And
that's so beautiful.
it can make such a difference in a person's life.
Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. I love that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to walk down the street and I'm going to beeline people with my eyes and be in the presence of their presence and just acknowledge and see them. Yeah, I really love that. That is so beautiful. Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's the greatest gift you can give someone.
Yeah. Well, even as you were talking about it and you were saying it, I was feeling it like I was receiving it from you right in that moment.
Yeah.
And it felt really beautiful. Like it's a really beautiful feeling, and I feel really acknowledged.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is a really, it's a gorgeous feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a really beautiful thing, because we just don't have enough of that we actually stop and take the time to acknowledge people, just being in their beingness.
Yeah, and
Without
we're so
any
wrapped up
story.
in our own stories. And what we want actually is to be acknowledged and to be seen.
Yeah.
And that's why, we don't see others. We're just begging them for them to see us. And so,
Yeah.
we create all this misalignments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take the time to see
Oh,
someone.
yeah. Well, I have absolutely loved having you talking with me today. Thank you so much for your time. You are an absolute divine woman. And it was so beautiful to have conversations with you today in talking about Pleiadian Lightwork and full sensory perception and your journey into that. And I think it just helps so many people with, especially talking about the energies that you talked about in your childhood. I was really drawn to that story, and I feel that a lot of people will be drawn to that story. So it's really wonderful to hear that Pleiadian Lightwork can give you the tools to work with those things and to peel away the layers and to come into that center place of the soul and the heart, to be in their own magnificence.
Yeah.
So that's really wonderful. So I want to thank you today for taking the time with me.
From one divine being to another. Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
Thank you.